It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day.
Good morning. Nice to be back home in studio here at the Family Leisure Studios. After the Tigers give it everything they have on the road, and they come close. Oh, so close in Tuscaloosa, but no cigar. It was an entertaining basketball game. Not saying there were a lot of lead changes or anything in that nature. Memphis jumped out to a lead. Then Alabama kind of took over in about the final about the final 6 or 7 minutes of the first half. And the Tigers did tie a couple of times in the second half, never could get the lead, but they kept competing. And they kept competing. And it's really and truly, I know on the postgame show, Kendrick Davis told me, I don't play the what-if game, but in all honesty, there's a lot of what-ifs here. If Memphis could hit threes, they would have won the game. And I know that's crazy to say because, everybody's talking about, well, the Tigers couldn't score. And they did. There's so many chances because you can drive on this Alabama team. As Matt Dillon pointed out several times last night, that's going to be their Achilles. They don't play zone, and they allow a lot of penetration on drives. Of course, that is a specialty of Kendrick Davis. But the U of M missed 9 layups in the first half. They were 4 of 13 from Bunnyland. Whew. And then they lose by 3, right? Alabama, and this is what they do. People are going to go, wow, my gosh, Tigers gave them 10 threes. They were 10 of 27, which is not outrageous. That's 37%. It's a little high. Memphis usually holds people to about 30%. They got a couple of open looks. Their All-American freshman candidate, Brandon Miller, got hot. He had 4 threes in the game. He averages 3. But Alabama averages 10.5 threes. That's what they do. They try dribble driving, and then they pitch it to somebody to shoot a 3. That's their scheme. They want to outscore you. And Memphis was 1 of 12 from 3. And I'm going to tell you, I would say 7 or 8 of those threes that they missed were absolutely wide open. And if you were listening to the game, I kind of went crazy when Keontae Kennedy hit a 3. The kid missed like 4 layups. He was 0 for 5, and he didn't get much playing time in the second half. He's brought in at the end. And he hits a 3 with 0.6 seconds left. There is significance to that particular 3. And this is weird how things work. I'm sitting right next to the ESPN broadcast, and I consider Tom Hart and Fran Frischel of friends. I've seen them at lunch, and we'd be asked, and their stat guy was giving me a lot of stats. So I write this down for him, and actually Matt Dillon was the guy that had found this at the beginning of the year. And I had said, with the way this team shoots, this could happen. Memphis has not missed any games without scoring a 3 back to November 21st, 2001. So that's 21 years and change. 21 years, 680-something games, I think. Guess who they didn't score a 3 against?
Who?
They were playing in Kansas City in a preseason tournament November 21st, 2001. The Guardians Classic. They were playing Alabama.
History has a way of repeating itself.
Obviously, different coach, whole different team, but nonetheless, same school. Alabama holds them without a 3 21 years ago, and they're on the verge of doing that until Keontae Kennedy hits a pretty meaningless 3. But it keeps the streak alive. When they play Houston, I can see it happening. That they're going to play Houston twice, right? Maybe 3 times. I could see where they might not hit a three, unless Demarie Franklin ends up hitting some threes. And I think he shot them at about a 30-something% rate, very, very low 30s last year.
Yeah, right at 30.
I think he hit 47 of them or something like that.
That's good.
Hey, look, that's a bright spot right there. That kid.
Hustle player, man.
He played 17 and a half minutes, had 8.6 rebounds and a steal. And the thing that most impressed me, besides his defense and his strength, he's a strong guy. His leaping ability, I would say he's the best leaper Memphis has.
Certainly so. And there was a lot of lobs caught last night, so you had a lot of leaping ability on display with all the fast break points they had. But you're right, Demarie Franklin, shots not necessarily going for him, especially not the three. He's getting after it on the offensive glass is really what impressed me. Crashing the boards hard. You don't always see that from guards. That was certainly a bright spot.
How about this? The Alabama Crimson Tide are the number one rebounding team in the country in both offense and defensive rebounding. The Tigers hang with them on total boards 42-39. On the offensive glass, they out-rebounded Alabama 16-10. All right, so here, you think about this. And this is why, literally, I walked out of Coleman Coliseum last night feeling darn good. When you lose to a team like Alabama, top four in the country, and you've had chances to win the game, you're in it the whole way, you might walk out depressed. I didn't do that. When you go 1 of 12 from three-point range, when you miss 9 layups in the first half, when you are called for 28 fouls.
That's not ideal.
When the opposition shoots 40 free throws and you shoot 25, and the opposition makes 29 of them, and you lose by 3 on their home court, and by the way, their home court was incredible. The students were out. I'm thinking, students are out. Man, maybe it's a 14,400-seat arena. Maybe there will be 7. Well, there wasn't.
It was packed.
That was 13, at least. I don't know what they said the official attendance was, but it was about as packed as you were going to get it, and it was loud. And the Tigers walk away from the number 4 team in the country with all that stuff. Injuries to Dandridge, foul trouble the whole way, the disparity at the free throw line. That's pretty impressive that they lose by only 3 to the number 4 team in the country. And I think Fran Fraschilla made a point of saying how much he really likes this team. I would love to play Alabama on a neutral in the NCAA tournament. I think Memphis could beat them.
And just see what happens. No, you're right. In terms of the team itself, this is my favorite Tigers team under Penny just because of the experience and the maturity. And then you got Player of the Year. I mean, you're seeing why Kendrick Davis was Player of the Year in the league last year. That's incredible.
You're not kidding. And let me just say this. There are 30-point performances and there are 30-point performances. It's a whole different thing to be playing South Florida, okay? To be playing South Florida and to win by 20 points and your guy and your guy gets 30, that's one thing, right? No pressure, no meaningful thing. How hard once you fall behind is that other team. But to get 30 at the number 4 team in the country when you're in a nip and tuck game, to score 30 in that incident when they're draped all over you, that's impressive.
And the maturity of the rest of the team on the court to all be on the same page, and we got to find a way to get this guy shots. That is, pretty rare. That takes a mature team and a bunch of guys that understand they just want to win in order to make that happen. And I think that's another positive you take away from last night is they know who the best player on the court is.
They do. They know their roles. The unfortunate thing is the guy with the most experience, who I thought finally was learning his lesson, because I love this guy. He's the nicest dude in the world. He cares. Oh, DeAndre Williams.
Early tech in the second half.
Tech. That means you only got 4 fouls instead of 5. 2 of those were dumb. He just pushed off to try. He does some of the craziest fouls. He's just got to learn that until there's like 5 minutes to go in the game, you can't do anything that's crazy. You've got to really be disciplined. He's so disciplined within his own game, and yet when it comes to his emotions and the flow of the game and referees, he's always trying to talk to the referees. He told me, I'm not doing that anymore. He was lobbying with everybody last night. He had his arm around Tony Green. He was trying to tell Joe Lindsay that he got the raw deal from Bart Lennox on the tech. I don't know what he said, but I promise you this, he deserved it. There's no way any referee is purposely trying to give you a T, unless it's past experience because you lost your head anyway. You know the old story about, I'm trying to remember the coach, but the coach, the referee warns the coach, if I hear one more word from you, I'm going to give you a T. Well, that coach really wants that T for whatever reason. And he says, well, here's what I think. And the referee's about to give him that T, and he goes, you know what, coach? I'm not going to give you that T. But you know what I'm going to do with that T? I'm putting it in my pocket. And when you really can't afford one, you're getting it. I love that one.
An evil officiating move right there.
That probably doesn't happen much anymore. That was old times
that
they did that. But they do remember. And I wonder, some of this does go back to where DeAndre Williams was acting a fool. I don't know if that was the case last night or not. But I know he's got to do better, especially now with Danbridge out. So let's contemplate on what will happen here. Dandridge is going to definitely miss Saturday's game, and depending on the degree of sprain, and let's just hope it's a sprain with no ligaments, because he got escorted back with some crutches to go back into the locker room, and I guess they x-rayed it. I don't really know. Came back and he had one of those ace Band-Aids on with a big ice pack on it, and the damn thing extended halfway up his leg near his knee. It was so extensive. So he's not going to play for a while.
It's a big loss.
It's a huge loss because he.
No pun intended.
I'm so serious about this. Malcolm Dandridge, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really believe it now. If Malcolm Dandridge really loved the game and took the game seriously and lost 10 to 15 pounds, because he can run and he's got hands.
Caught a lob last night in fast break.
If he would do that, and if you got to have passion for the game and really love it. And he's another guy that I think is a terrific young man. I think he's going to excel in a lot of different things. I really do. I think he's smart. But I don't know that he really works it as hard as he should, because he needs to lose 10 to 15 pounds, and then he could really run the floor even better, and the injuries wouldn't feel as bad on his knees. This is his ankle. So I guess you can't count on him for, I'm going to say, a month.
Really?
I'm just guessing. I mean, ankle sprains, I've had plenty of them.
Especially if it's a high ankle sprain. Like one of those football
ankle
sprains.
And I think it was a high ankle sprain because of where they put that ice. But we're really speculating on that. We'll find out more over the next day or two. It'll come out. But even Penny said in the postgame show he's definitely not going to play on Saturday and against A&M, and then you probably wouldn't want to play him the following midweek game against Alabama State. You're really not going to need him. You want him to get healthy for conference play. But I wonder if the Tigers will end up going smaller. And now that we know that Franklin is such a good rebounder,
guard rebounding, yeah.
Could you think about going Alo and Kendrick Davis and Franklin with DeAndre Williams and probably Chandler Lawson?
Maybe so. I don't know the exact makeup of Texas A&M. I've really been impressed by Dandridge's physicality inside, because I thought losing the size of Jalen Duren was going to hurt them, and he has been super physical inside and rebounding. Dandridge has. I've really liked his play. If you can't lose that rebounding, that's a good way to mismatch with your opponent. Now, will that hurt you on the defensive end of the floor? I don't really know. But they've been switching all the ball screens anyway, so what difference does it make?
Because Franklin is such a good defender and leaper and rebounder, he might make up for some of that. So, unless Dandridge comes back, the other option might be if Jamar Young becomes eligible. The kid from SMU,
Big guy, yeah.
that is a rebounder and a defensive presence. He's not going to deliver the offense that Dandridge has the potential to bring you, but those are some of the things that Penny's going to have to sort through over the next week or so.
Would that be after exams he would become eligible? Because exams have to be going on now, right?
Exams are done.
Oh, so
they're
crazy. Then.
So apparently, there's another waiver that has been asked of the NCAA.
I see.
Because for whatever reason, and there's not been a total explanation given, but I've read stories that for some reason Young did not get his name in the transfer portal on the deadline. So there's a chance he might not become eligible to play this year.
More than just grades.
So I know they were going to check into it now because they are absolutely in need of a bigger body. The other thing is you're going to, you got KO in. I think KO's progress has been slower than they had anticipated that it would be. Penny didn't even try playing him last night, but I think he's going to get a shot, definitely, against Texas A&M. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure studio, and a reminder, there's excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas because you know what they got right now. It's Family Leisure Christmas time, and if you're tired and sore from all the shopping, check out the huge in-stock selection of hot tubs and massage chairs. That'll relax you and make you feel better. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays from the good folks at Family Leisure. And you know our title sponsor, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, where I am proud to say you can now buy a new car with this new financial plan that runs all the way through January. Buy a new Hyundai. Get my Santa Fe. Get a Tucson. Get an Elantra, a Veloster. Any of those new Hyundai products that are so good. And don't worry about paying for 90 days. Drive off the lot. Make your first payment 3 months later. Only at Homer Skelton Hyundai. We love doing this on Wednesdays. We are putting to bed week 14 right before Thursday. We've got your Thursday night football game right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. That's the Brock Purdy story. The Niners at Seattle. Geno Smith, that'll be a heck of a football game. That's the beginning of week 15. But as always, we love to end our week with what we call the inane things that coaches and players say after NFL games. We'll start with Tom Brady. We'll end it with John Harbaugh.
I'm sure you guys got as many fun questions as I got answers.
And a disappointing outcome, but really nothing mystical about it. We didn't do the things necessary to secure victory. Particularly how these two teams come together and the nature of these matchups. Points are precious.
Especially when points were at a premium tonight.
Touchdowns were going to be at a premium in this game.
We couldn't get the needed stop at the weightiest moment on defense.
You guys gave up 253 yards rushing.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
It's a lot of yards rushing.
Is that what part of that was a question? Help me out with what your question is.
And that was really part of our message this week is don't take the cheese, and don't take the cheese is a big part of that.
After the game, they asked me about taking the cheese, and I said, hey, man, it's the NFL. Give this team credit.
We're not the high-pitched cartwheel outfit. Some people are.
I mean, there's no crystal ball. I wish there were. It'd make the job a lot easier, that's for sure.
Cool is the other side of the pillow.
But he seems good to me. He's reciting the months of the year backwards. Can you do that right now?
I'm still kind of like, what the hell's going on right now?
I think it was the kind of victory that you can attribute to heart and character and toughness and finding a way to get the job done and never giving up and never flinching and having each other's back.
The guys staying together, not blinking.
They didn't blink. They stayed together.
When we're in these moments, we don't blink.
Nobody blink and everybody continually fight for each other.
Hey, we're going to win this game. Don't blink.
We'll look this right in the eye and face it head on.
Those guys not blinking.
We'll look at it straight in the eye and see what we can learn from this.
Credit to the team, not blinking, staying focused.
Every time you take the field, you have the opportunity to get your ass kicked or to kick ass.
They're playing freaking damn good football.
Take out the 3 interceptions, and he really had a heck of a game.
Football's a humbling game. When you're winning, it's fine. When you're losing, it's humbling.
I think football's a humbling game.
You can't really win until you stop from losing.
We can't be
one set of bucks and another set of bucks. It's got to mean something.
We got to go home and protect the bank.
There's a picture that I love of my dad yelling. I don't know who he's yelling at, but 1978, I think the picture was taken. He's got these plaid pants on. That was the style then. He's coaching. He's got his headset kind of ripped off, and he's got these. He's kind of got. I don't know if he had a Fu Manchu or if he just had big lamb chops of sideburns. I'll have to get the picture for you, but he's going crazy and it being emotional. This is an emotional game.
I think he's a Hall of Fame player. You know, he's definitely a Hall of Fame field goal blocker. You know, there's no doubt about that. But just Hall of Fame man too, Hall of Fame leader.
That was John Harbaugh. Nick Sirianni was the guy that was talking about his dad.
Rambling.
Here's the other thing. You can't really win until you stop from losing. That was Josh McDaniels. We've heard that a couple of times. Blinking. That if there's a theme throughout all of these inane things, that's got to be the number one topic, isn't it? Blinking.
Nope. There's a sign on every NFL sideline that says "Don't blink." Nobody blink.
Either that or it's something about how you have somebody's back or something like that.
That's right.
It is kind of crazy. My favorite thing was the reporter goes, "You guys gave up 253 yards rushing. What do you make of that?" And all Brian Daboll can say is, "That's a lot of yards rushing."
A lot of yards. He's right.
What are you going to say? And those are the inane thing that coaches and players will say after NFL football games. One thing I found interesting last night, NBA, Draymond Green was in Milwaukee, and he starts to go back and forth. There's free throws going on by the Bucks, and a guy in a high-priced seat in the end zone is having this exchange as the free throws are going on with Draymond Green.
This is crazy.
Green, who had been fined earlier in the year for having a verbal exchange and I think really getting in the face of a high-paying patron.
Said he threatened his life?
Hold on. This is before.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. He got fined $25,000 because he and this guy, not Milwaukee, another place, got into it. This time he's about to do the same thing, and he thinks better after the free throw, goes to the other side. He then tells the referee, this dude was threatening my life. And, you know, other refs and players could hear what that exchange was going on. And I was picked up. I couldn't quite hear what the fan was saying, but I could hear Draymond. And wisely, I think, the officials get together, they get security, they escort the dude out. Because he had threatened Draymond Green's life, according to Green. And Draymond made an interesting point in the in the post-game press conference, and he was not shy about bringing this up, which is, you know, why we like Draymond Green. He's Charles Barkley-like in this respect. He goes, you know, last week I got fined. I got fined $25,000. That guy's going back and laughing with his buddies that I got the best of Draymond Green. They fined him $25,000, and he makes this statement, which to me is accurate. You're basically giving the fan license to abuse you when that happens. Now, this way, the guy showed restraint, which is good for Draymond Green. He kept his emotions in check, although he didn't want to. The guy gets kicked out. He doesn't get fined. That, to me, sends a message to the fans. Enough of this crap. Just because you pay a lot of money, and those seats are really expensive. I guarantee you it's at least $1,000 a ticket. That does not give you the right to abuse people. And I'm glad Draymond Green did that. We take a quick break. We are back in a second. Our good friend, Brett Norsworthy, on the SEC Bowl games. I don't know. We'll pick his brain on a lot of different things. He comes your way in just a minute.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sportstime on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Memphis, I'm Regina Moore, owner of Chef Labels. Born and raised in the 901, I have so much pride for my city. So, my husband and I created a product Memphis can be proud of. Our award-winning spinach artichoke dip is on Walmart shelves now, and we need your help clearing them, man. Let's show Walmart how Memphis come together for their own. Unlock the inner chef in you with Chef Flavors.
O'Reilly. See the road ahead more clearly with Sylvania Bulbs and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase select Sylvania bulbs and get up to a $20 gift card after mail-in rebate, plus 2 times O Rewards points. Replace your bulbs today and see better tonight. Let the professional parts people help you find the bulbs you need. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in on this sort of gloomy day, but guess what? Sunshine tomorrow. I'm telling you. We're going to see that little orange ball. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's been like 2 weeks.
We're gonna see the darn thing. It's going to be cold, but I'm going to take that for sure. Brett Norsworthy is going to join us in a second. He's brought to you by Dinstall's. That's the place for your holiday gifts, family, friends, employees, clients. From Cashew Crunch, my favorite, to Turtlettes. Oh, that's my favorite. To Chocolate Fudge. Oh, wait a second. They win awards for that. That could be my favorite. To the finest assorted chocolates, and they make the best chocolates. Whether it's milk chocolate, dark chocolate, which is good for your heart, they got it all. And you can go to 5 different places to find what I think is a true signature of the city of Memphis: Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, where they make it Pleasant View, and downtown Dinstall's. They've been making your holidays sweeter for over 120 years. Brett Norsworthy joins us. You listen, of course, to him every day from 3 to 6 on Sportstime with him and our good friend Gabe Kuhn. I don't know, Brett. Maybe it's because I'm older now, and I see this more often in my social support group, my network. But I took the Mike Leach passing hard yesterday. It really affected me. It's not like I knew Mike Leach, but I had talked to him a couple of times, and I just liked him. I liked his approach. He was so unique. It really hit me hard yesterday. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave, and I'm with you. It has hit us all very hard. Far as heartbreaking, 3 weeks ago tomorrow, 20 days ago today, it'll be 3 weeks tomorrow. For us, heartbreaking from the Ole Miss perspective, leaving the Egg Bowl, leaving Thanksgiving night, disappointed, 24-22, defeated to State. Dave, everything works out. Now I'm glad that in Mike Leach's last game, he left a winner, and because he was very much a winner, and his impact on college football. People talk about at Texas Tech with Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree, at Washington State with Gardner Minshew and Falk and others. What Will Rogers has done in his almost 3 years of being the quarterback of Mississippi State, he has obliterated the SEC record book, maybe unbreakable going forward, even in this high-octane era. And I think Mike Leach's biggest games at Mississippi State was his very first game, COVID year, late September, opening day, last week of September, and he goes out and annihilates LSU and Ed Orgeron, the defending national champion. Ed Orgeron was never the same after that day. That was his first win, first game at State, and his very last game 3 weeks ago tomorrow night in the battle for the Golden Egg. And State prevailed, and it was a really good win for him that night. And I think most Ole Miss fans are now almost at ease by how things worked out that night for him and his prolific career. And you know the fundamental basis of his career, with your friendship and relationship through the years with Hal Mumme. That's where it all started.
Sure did.
And they got it going at Kentucky, and he made it work when everybody said, oh, you can run that over in that conference. You can run it over in that conference. You can't do it here. You can do it anywhere with that offense, and he did.
That really started at Ohio Wesleyan.
Yeah.
And you know what? Leach was the offensive line coach publicist. They didn't have an SID, and that's where he came up and branded that offense as the air raid.
I'd love to read those game notes.
Oh, baby, I guarantee you they would have been fantastic, huh?
Have you seen Hal Mumme on any of the interviews and stuff?
I
you would
have
recognize
not,
him.
And I meant to call him, honestly, and chat with him, but I was so busy doing that basketball game yesterday. I'm going to try to catch up with him. I haven't seen Hal.
Real long hair.
Oh, yeah. Well, he married a younger woman.
Well.
and he's
that didn't always mean long hair.
Maybe he's reliving his youth. I don't know. But I do know he's the same kind of character that Mike Leach is. Very interesting, fun to talk to him.
Imagine those staff meetings, Dave.
Oh, gosh.
And how much fun that would be. And then to Oklahoma and to find Josh Heupel to direct that offense in Bob Stoops' first year, and that ended in the Independence Bowl game against Ole Miss. And then in the second year, they win it all, national champions. And then Mike Leach is off on his head coaching career. I think his two stellar years was probably that Graham Harrell year in 2008. And Ole Miss played Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl that year. And what he did with Gardner Minshew. But the body of work for Will Rogers is really and truly, Will Rogers should have gotten more, from just statistics, more consideration for the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, that probably is true. I'll be honest with you, I didn't consider him. I should have, but I did not. All right. We've talked before about how some of the reason that Lane Kiffin is worth the amount of money that Ole Miss is paying him for is because of his marketing abilities, his social media expertise and stuff. What he did with that picture of him and Leach, basically saying, I'm glad you won that game. Like you
Classic.
Just kind of said, I mean, it brought a tear to my eye. I got to be totally honest with you.
He said he set the tone for the university's really their official response, and he has. He's almost the Twitter machine for the university, but they were super tight. I told the story yesterday about after a game this year, Ole Miss played and won real late, and I'm getting ready to do post game with Coach Kiffin, and State was open date that week, and he's looking at his phone. He starts laughing. I wouldn't dare ask what it was. It was none of my business. But then he just said, Leach, man, Leach.
Yeah.
And Mike Leach had already texted him.
I love it. I really do. And I mean, no disrespect, because I've just talked about how much it hit me, but now you start to think, where does Mississippi State go? I know Zach Arnett, who I think is a very good defensive coordinator. Zach Arnett's going to be the interim coach for the bowl game with Illinois on January the 2nd. Where do you think Mississippi State turns from here, and do they really look at people that might be able to adopt the personnel that Leach had brought to run the system that he runs?
Yeah, it's still very early in the process, and Mark Keenum's got a lot of pressure on him, both the immediacy of handling this sudden impact, the sadness, the mourning period that Mississippi State and all of college football that they will remain in for a while, and he does not have an athletics director with John Cohen leaving for Auburn, so it's kind of the double whammy for him, but they will get a really good coach, whether it's on the current staff or they have to go outside, because as you saw when the Tigers played down there, I just wish people realized everybody has great facilities. The facilities at State, the money is not, it's no sparing of the cost. They can do whatever they need to, and how they have transformed that stadium and their athletics footprint, and what they've done at Duty Noble, and now the reshaping of Humphrey Coliseum, and it's been done at Davis Wade Stadium, and all the indoor workout. They'll get a mighty fine coach. It's a great job. It's a great place to live and work. And Mike Leach really got it. You've seen a lot of comments from somebody we both like a lot, Jackie Sherrill, about how Mike Leach fit and got the Starkville Golden Triangle community, and now you're seeing across college football, particularly from the proud maroon and white, the outpouring of love for him.
Yeah. Speaking of facilities, I did tour a little bit of Tuscaloosa yesterday. Wow. Whew, man.
They don't lack for one thing.
No, they do not. I love where the
if
statues
they need 5, they buy 10.
Yeah. And his offices and the way that whole thing now connects. There used to be, let's put it this way. Where his office is and the practice facilities or the indoor facilities where they are now.
50 yards.
It's at least 50 yards, right? He will never have to walk in the rain.
Never.
They've connected everything. It's really, really and truly impressive. Yeah.
It's stunning. The whole town is.
I know and
it's been remade.
They're
all the new buildings and dorms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. The dorms? Are you kidding me? I don't know how many there are,
Dave,
but they're all new.
Nick Saban's final day, they should present him with a $100 million thank you check for what he's done.
Well, he's
in tuition, enrollment, and construction.
Do you know how much it costs now to be an out-of-stater and go to that school?
Oh, yeah. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it's 31.
They've got a waiting list.
I will tell you, it's $31,000. When Nick Saban first arrived at that school, it was like 70% students from Alabama, 30% from out of state. It is now totally reversed. The admission requirements have gone way up because they get 38,000 applications a year. And if you pay in-state, it's 11,000. It's 31,000 to out-of-staters. I mean, it's incredible, and that's how they've been able to build all the stuff they have because these folks are paying real money for that. It's just it's a phenomenal.
They want to go there. They want to go there and be a part of that fun and part of that success and of that school. They want to enjoy that. You know, I've told you, my nephew from Wynn, Arkansas, met a girl from Boston, Massachusetts there.
Right.
I mean, that's 2 out-of-staters.
There you go. The only thing that they haven't really totally updated is Coleman Coliseum, the basketball arena, which is really still fine. It's clean. They did redo it a few because I think we played in the NIT there in 2005.
Preseason with D-Wash.
They had just redone that arena and retrofitted or whatever they did. But they're talking about building a new arena. They actually have the land. I saw the place it's going to go. But here's the issue. They raised enough money at one time to do it, but construction costs have gone up so much they can't break ground. And that's Alabama. I shudder to think the same thing could happen with this redoing Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium,
Did you take a tour of the football stadium with Bryant-Denny?
No. What I did was I walked up by the statues in that Walk of Fame where the players all walk through, and it's cool. They're probably going to have to keep redoing that because they've already redone it a little bit because they run out of room. They just keep winning national titles.
Only 10-2 this year, though.
Not this year, too. I know they're panicking because they lost 2 games by 2 points. Uh-oh.
The last time they went 10-2, they slaughtered Michigan in their bowl game and got on another run. He's going to go on another one.
Well, I joked with you. They're no longer a football school; they're a basketball school because their basketball team is ranked higher than their football team.
Last night during the broadcast, Fran Fraschilla said there were 4 SEC teams he thought could go to the Final Four. He didn't say win it, but just go to the Final Four. And we all know after you get to that last weekend of the year, you got a chance. He said it was Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
I believe that. Yeah,
Alabama's never been to a Final Four. Tennessee's never been to a Final Four. Arkansas hadn't been to one since 95, and it's been a while for Kentucky, by Kentucky standards, to have been to a Final Four.
I think there's a chance one of those 4, and I don't know which one, but one of those 4 could do it. Auburn's not going to be one because I don't think they can score enough. I'm not sure Alabama defends well enough to get there.
I don't either,
really
Dave.
Don't.
And I don't think in a tactician game, I don't think Nate Oates could win that make-stop 25 seconds left to play, that Saturday night pressure-packed 65,000 at the Dome in Houston, I don't think he makes that call. I think he's a good coach, but I think it's largely recruiting and make threes. Well, if that all works, it makes you look great. If it doesn't, and you've got to get out the whiteboard and draw up a make or stop, I don't know that he has it.
That I think that's it. I mean, I think Nate Oates' philosophy is I'm just going to outscore you.
Flood the zone.
And I don't think that can win you national title. You've got to defend, and you got to play at a lot of different ways. I still don't understand, and Matt Dillon was talking about this on the broadcast a little bit. I don't get coaches, even Cal, why they don't play zone defense when you've got Kendrick Davis ripping your best defenders apart for 30 because he's able to penetrate, and you don't even try a zone? I mean, I would say –
you don't even practice
I
one.
would say in the beginning that works, right? Because the Tigers were shooting like 30% toward the end of the first half. I wouldn't have made any changes. But when Memphis is still hanging on and you can't stop Kendrick Davis, I don't see why you don't play at least two, 3 possessions of it, but they don't try it. He doesn't try it.
I feel better about the Tigers today than I have at any point all year. That I know they're not playing for moral victories, but that loss last night, look out. This is a really good team. Bama could not shake loose from them.
No, and they lose to the number 4 team on their floor, getting outshot from the free throw line, 29,
not well.
40 free throws to 25, missing in the first half alone 9 layups and hitting only 1 3. I mean, and you lose by 3? Come on.
Tigers go 1-1 in that Iron Bowl stretch, and I don't think played an A game in either.
No, I think that's fair. All right, last thing, 30 seconds is all I have. These baseball salaries, Correa with the 13-year $350. Wow, that's the longest and richest for that shortstop.
Pretty good for a dead sport, isn't it?
Yeah, for that position. Turner $300 million, Bogarts $280, Aaron Judge $360. Is this crazy? Can baseball make it with these kind of salaries?
Sure it can. It can with the TV deals, the local and national, and with attendance. I know there are a lot of people that don't want to believe it. Baseball is fine. It's got horrible leadership, the most wretched commissioner in the history of any sport, but baseball is fine.
No doubt. If they're paying that, it is absolutely fine. As always, my friend, thank you much. We'll do this again next week.
Thank you, Dave.
That is our friend Brett Norsworthy. He is brought to you by Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and they're always trying to make sure you are ahead of the game with new government regulations. HVAC systems are going to go up in price. They're adjusting. So beat the adjustment. Beat the price increase. Go call my guys at 384-3511 Conway and replace the old inefficient system with a new one, and they're going to throw in the furnace. So you get the cooling system, and it's not just one brand. There's several to choose from. And then you'll get the free furnace, and they're going to throw in a free Nest thermostat. That is this new technology where you can control your climate in your house on your phone wherever you are in literally the world. It's really cool, and that's free too. Free furnace, free Nest thermostat when you buy a new HVAC system from Conway, 384-3511. We take a break. When we come back from Action News 5, but not much longer, Jarvis Greer. He comes your way in a minute.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You don't have to go through yet another year with that knee pain or back pain. People with chronic joint pain are getting real lasting relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Their unique protocols use healing agents from your own body to target aching joints, repairing and restoring damaged tissue. So you can move again with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Got shoulder pain, excruciating hip pain? If you have any arthritis pain or lingering pain from an injury, don't let them operate on you or give you more steroids, and say no to the pain pills. Call QC Kinetics and see if their life-changing, all-natural treatments can get you living your best life in the new year. I'm telling you, people are raving about these treatments. And appointments are available as soon as next week. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010 for QC Kinetics.
0650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte PE 545-584, MSRP 22,150. Sorrento PG 172,274, MSRP 32,720. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/3/2023. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Mid-South Randy here at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah, and we're gearing up for the season of giving back. And if you buy a car now through December 31st, Kia will make a donation to our very own St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Hey, Jeff, my man, took the day off to visit Santa to get his list ready, so I've got the helm today. And to celebrate, we've got 2023 Kia Forte LXS, 41 MPG Highway, $234 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, $388 a month, 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing. Plus, you always get the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. And if we don't have it today, we'll order it for you. You won't pay over MSRP at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. And like Jeff says, whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing, and they've only been around for 5 years. Choose from hundreds of choices of wood, tile, vinyl, and carpet. Timmy, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood, tile, vinyl, and carpets. Jenkins meets all your needs from renovations to home building to installation. Enjoy buying excellent quality products at awesome prices. They're all about customer service at Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando. Call 662-469-9350.
Looking for a bar with it all? Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. Pimento's makes football your fantasy with 17 TVs and $2 draft beers during the game, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you know I love a great happy hour. At Pimento's, $4 house cocktails, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Yes, $4 house cocktails. Try one of their signature drinks like the JJ Spicy Margarita or the Tennessee Sunset. How about a Memphis Mudslide? Or be a kid again with the Adventure River Rum Punch. Hungry? Try a fan favorite, Bacon Pimento Cheeseburger. Or be like me and try them all. The Mushroom Extravaganza, Sweet Heat, and the Dirty, Mean, and Nasty. Need I say more? Well, yes, because there's so much more than just pimento cheese. Sliders, salads, quesadillas, 10 different appetizers. Just don't forget about dessert. 2 great locations, 6450 Poplar Avenue in East Memphis, and in Collierville, 3751 South Houston Levee Road. A bar with it all, Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. So much more than pimento cheese.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
He is counting it down. It is December the 14th today, 2 weeks and change from the life of leisure. For the man from Action News 5, that would be Jarvis Greer. Jarvo, good morning. Are you like taking in everything nostalgically, or are you just?
I really am.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I really am. I look around the studio every time I go in and say, "Oh, look at all this technology. This is really neat. This is really a cool thing I've been able to do for the last half a lifetime." And it's just. It's counting down. You know what I'm practicing, though?
What?
I'm practicing putting my feet up.
Oh, gosh.
Sitting back and say, hey, I don't have to do that. I don't have to go in. But, the toughest part is getting up and going in. And once you're there, you're there.
Right.
And it's like, then you're, I consider my colleagues in the newsroom my friends. And of course, in this business, Dave, you did it for a good long while. That those are pretty much the only people you know because of the hours of the job. And it's kind of neat to see. Of course, everybody's really young now, and that's when you know it's time to go. Because really, it's like
Jarvo, you're not that old. Come on, man. You're not that old.
I've been there a long time, and everybody now has been there, mid-20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I am not.
What I know will be the coolest thing for you is you're going to go to a game and you're not going to have to worry about, okay, I got to edit this thing, got it back, got to edit this thing down, got to check scores because, oh, my goodness, you'll be able to sit there in the stadium, watch the end of the game, and just walk home.
like the Grizzlies game, I'm off at 10 o'clock now.
Right.
And that's been just a total blessing because I actually get to go home. And, I used to meet my wife at the games, and because that'd be the only time we could really see each other when we're upright, because either she's heading out in the morning and I'm barely getting up, or I'm getting home at night and she's looking at the back of her eyes. And then I don't have to leave. I don't have to leave in the third quarter. I don't have to leave, before it's off. And so that has been a blessing. Yes.
And I know you're a season ticket holder to those guys, and I was looking at it today. Now the Pelicans lost last night, so both teams are 18-9. The Grizzlies team, which is still yet to play a single game with what their starting five and rotation would be like, and yet they are atop the Western Division. They play Milwaukee tomorrow night, and the Pelicans, which lost to Utah last night, are playing back-to-backs with Utah. And so they play Utah again tomorrow night. If the Grizz can beat Milwaukee at home, they could be in first place in the West. I mean, it's incredible to me doing this with really not ever having played your full team.
That just shows you the power of King Kleiman. Kleiman's done a great job as general manager in putting the right pieces together and finding guys late in the draft and going after people that he really wanted that would fit the team. And they've done just a fantastic job in doing that. The Pelicans have done a good job in that too. They're just built differently, and now they've got Zion back. So and he's healthy, so that makes them a better team. It was a good trade, when Memphis let JV, Jonas Valanciunas go. I hated it at the time because I was a real JV fan. I think pretty much everybody was. But they knew what they needed to get in a different kind of player at that position in Steven Adams. And I think he's one of the all-time leaders in offensive rebounds in the league. And he is all-time, and he is, 29?
Well,
so
I think
they're still really, really young.
If you weigh it out, and no disrespect at all to Valanciunas, who I liked as well, and a very good offensive player. But if you look at Adams versus Valanciunas for the role that you got to play with a particular team, Adams is more valuable to this Memphis team than Valanciunas could have been.
Yeah, that's one thing that, it's tough to see as a fan, looking at it, but they had, thank goodness that the front office had the foresight to see, if we make this move here, that frees up Ja to be more Ja, and also, the lane is not clogged up because JV he likes to score. He is a scoring big man. And Steven Adams really doesn't care about scoring. He is a facilitator, and he concentrates on the boards. And it has worked well. I put it this way. That's one of those trades that works out well for both teams because JV's doing well down there in New Orleans, and Steven Adams is Aquaman doing his thing here in Memphis.
I'm sure you watched the Tiger basketball game last night.
Man, I'm still yelling at the TV from that. And I listened to your broadcast, too. It's one of those that I was able to get it to sync up.
Oh, my goodness.
For one.
You got to tell people how to do that.
Well, that varsity app actually works pretty good.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's kind of off a little bit, but it works pretty good. And it's like, gee whiz, if we could have been healthy at the end of that game, losing Malco and then DeAndre fouls out, and then Kendrick Davis with that ankle. Kendrick Davis, he's him. He's that dude. He is that guy.
And that's 30 against a team in a meaningful game, number 4 in the country on the away floor there. Woo. Their defensive stats are really good, and they tried to choke him off. They tried to take the head off of the snake away, but he still found a way, and they almost pulled it off. But it would have been nice to see if everybody had been healthy and in the game down the stretch. And we got to get DeAndre. He's got to have Dave Woloshin demeanor, calm and Yoda-like out there. He is. I've chatted with him several times, Jarvo. I've pleaded with him. I've cajoled him. He keeps. He was doing really good. I don't know what happened last night. He lost his mind. He got caught up in it.
He got caught up in it, but it wasn't like, okay, don't do that, but I understand. A couple of those fouls where you don't want it to happen at that time, but like he was totally into it, and he was making good plays. And they only had 10 turnovers, the Tigers, last night, and forced 19. Right. Against all the numbers. If you look at the numbers for that game, you could outscore 30-3 from the 3-point line. You get outscored 10 from the free throw line, but it ends up being a 3-point game. And you don't have, two of your top players and a key reserve, available, for the last 5 minutes or so. So I'll pick that bag of chips every day.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't mention this earlier. The Tigers did force 19 turnovers. They had only 10. Points off turnovers, though. Alabama actually outscored them off the mistakes, 17-13 by 4 points. But what you have to take into account, too, is that 19 times they had the ball and didn't get a shot.
Right, that is correct. And they shoot it.
Yeah.
They don't mind letting it go.
No.
One other thing, the Tigers, what really hurt, I think, was at the beginning part of the game where Memphis just missed all those layups. Straight line drives and just didn't finish. I think it was 15 of 38, I think, on shots inside the.
Well, in the first half, they were
from the dotted line on in.
They were 4 of 13 on layups last night in the first half. I forget what the final numbers were, but you missed 9 bunnies in the first half.
That could have been. They could have been up 6 at the half.
Yep.
And then that could have been, changed some strategy around there. But it was good to see Demarie Franklin come in. That dude's tough. That's a tough dude right there. I think he's going to help going down.
I think he's going to end up being really impactful for sure. I am in agreement with you. All right, next week we will talk first responder bowl. The Tigers in Utah State.
Time to go play football.
I
played against Utah State the last time that we played in 1977.
Wow!
At the Liberty Bowl.
What, they had
11? Was that? We won the game. 31-26, I think. That's what it was. They call us the Cardiac Cats because all of our games were close. We won a lot of games close.
Was that leather helmets or? I think they had face masks.
No face masks. I don't think we had face masks back then. No. Everybody wore black high top boots.
All right, Jarvo, have a good week. We'll chat next Wednesday.
All right, Dave.
Thank you. That's Jarvis Greer from Action News 5 for just a little bit longer. He's brought to you by Old Dominick. That is our hometown distillery. They are terrific, and they are located right in the heart of downtown on Main Street. I love going there. I've done the full distillery tour. If you haven't done that and you got family in for the holidays and you're looking for things to do it a little late afternoon and make sure you enjoy the curated tastings because they've got those. They got wonderful craft cocktails, and they have just released, and it's in all the spirit shops like Eddie Connor's Spirit Shop. They have released these 2 whiskeys that you are going to absolutely love. One is bottled and bond. The other is a sipping whiskey. It took years for master distiller Alex Castle to release these 2 products. She's a perfectionist. She would not let them go until they were absolutely ready. They're ready, they're for sale, and they're good. Old Dominick, you'll be proud to try your hometown whiskey. That'll do it for me. Johnny Radio is coming your way. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin here for Homer Skelton Hyundai. I love to brag about